All right, let's dive right in. If you're gearing up for the Queensland bar exam, this one's for you. We're talking about a category of circumstantial evidence called concomitant evidence. Now, it can be a bit tricky, but it is so incredibly powerful, and honestly, mastering it is crucial for building a solid case. So, let's break it down.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll see where this evidence even fits on a timeline. Then we'll define what it actually is. After that, we'll dig into its three main flavors: opportunity, part of the action, and standards of comparison. And we'll wrap it all up with the big takeaway for you as a barrister.
Okay, Section 1, Evidence on the Timeline. Look, to really get a grip on concomitant evidence, you first have to see where it fits in the grand scheme of things. And for that, we can thank the legal scholar Wigmore. He gave us a really clear, simple way to classify evidence based on its timing.
Wigmore's timeline is super helpful. Think of it like this. First, you've got prospectant evidence. That's all the stuff that happens before the main event. You know, things like motive or maybe evidence of a plan. Then on the other end, you have retrospectant evidence. That's looking back from the event, things like fleeing the scene or trying to hide evidence. But right there in the middle, smack dab in the present moment of the event, that's our focus today. That's concomitant evidence. It's all about what's happening during the action.
So, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Section 2. What actually is concomitant evidence? Really, it all boils down to one simple, critical principle. So here's the formal definition, but I want you to zero in on one word: contemporaneously. That's the whole ballgame. It means stuff that's happening at the very same time as the main event. And that's where its power comes from. Its whole job is to make the story you're telling the court seem either way more likely or, way less probable. Okay. So this one big idea breaks down into three really practical, powerful tools for your legal toolkit. First, we've got opportunity. Second, the one with the fancy Latin name res gestae, which just means part of the action. And third, standards of comparison. We're going to tackle each one.
Right. Section 3, the opportunity argument. This is probably the one you'll come across most often, especially in criminal law. And it's all about one simple thing: proving the accused was actually there.
You've got this classic courtroom tug-of-war, right? On one side, the prosecution's job is to prove, yep, the accused was at the scene at that exact time. But for the defense, you have the ultimate trump card, the alibi. And listen, if you can establish that alibi, if the court buys it, it's game over. An alibi is conclusive proof of innocence. The case is done.
But, and this is a huge but for any barrister, what happens when that alibi turns out to be a complete lie?
Oh, this is where it gets really dangerous for the defense. A false alibi isn't just a failed argument, it's a strategic disaster. It can actually be used by the prosecution as positive proof of guilt, a consciousness of guilt. If you raise an alibi really late, it just looks shady and hurts its credibility. And you've got to remember, there are rules requiring you to give notice. If you fail to do that, the judge can literally tell the jury they can draw a negative conclusion. It is a massive, massive strategic risk. Okay, on to our next tool. Section 4, res gestae, or part of the action. I know, more Latin, but don't let it throw you. All it really means is things done. We're talking about actions or statements that are so tangled up, so closely linked in time to the main event that the law just says, you know what? This is all part of the same continuous story.
A classic case just makes this crystal clear. So picture this. We're on a train. A fellow realizes he's just been swindled out of 2 pounds during a card trick.
So what does he do? He jumps off the train, shouts out that he's getting the police, and boom, he has the accused arrested almost instantly. The key here is the timing. It's all one fluid motion. There's no break in the action, no time to stop and think or cook up a story.
And then, right in the middle of all this chaos, something really strange happens. A complete stranger walks right up to the victim and hands him 2 pounds, the exact amount he just lost.
So what is that? A wild coincidence? Or is it part of the crime itself? The court said it was part of the res gestae, because it all happened right then and there. It was so contemporaneous, the stranger returning the money was considered part of the whole transaction. And what powerful evidence that is. It strongly suggests the complaint was genuine and that the money was being returned on behalf of the accused.
All right, our final category, Section 5,
Setting the standard. Now, this one's a bit different. We're shifting gears because this is absolutely vital in the civil world, especially in cases like professional negligence. It's all about how we judge someone's conduct. Essentially, the court needs a yardstick. It's asking, what is the normal, reasonable standard here? You can't just stand up and assert that someone was negligent. You have to show it by bringing in evidence of a general practice. For example, if you're arguing about negligent cargo stowage, you'd show evidence of how it's normally done. If you claim a trade delay was unreasonable, you can show the common practice in a similar trade. You're using an external benchmark to judge the conduct in your case.
And this quote from Chief Justice Tyndall just nails it. He basically says, look, if 9 out of 10 experienced professionals would have done the same thing, then the person being sued has probably met the standard. They don't promise to be perfect, they just promise a reasonable degree of skill. And this is exactly how you prove it.
And here is a huge tip for your exams and for practice. This is a crucial distinction. Your evidence must be of a general practice, a widespread custom. You can't just call a single expert to say, well, I would have done it differently. That's not good enough. To be a valid comparison, it has to be a widespread standard, not just a one-off opinion.
So, let's land the plane. Section 6, your barrister's takeaway. We've walked through the theory, but how do you turn this into an effective tool when you're on your feet in court? At the end of the day, the power of concomitant evidence is all about how it uses time to connect the dots. It's the evidentiary glue that sticks a particular fact right onto the main event. Whether it's showing opportunity, being part of the action, or meeting a standard, you are forging a powerful connection that can make or break your case. So I'll leave you with this final, practical thought. Picture it. You're in court. Your opponent introduces a piece of evidence, claiming it's concomitant. What's the first question that should pop into your head to challenge it? You attack the timing. You ask the judge, Your Honor, is this truly contemporaneous? How close is this connection, really? That's your first line of attack.